Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Goon Room. Welcome to the Slavia Prague Preview. I hope you're all doing well. It is a Monday. We've got plenty to talk about, not just the preview. We're going to talk about this Crystal Palace game that has been rearranged, a bit of a joke. And we're also going to talk about potential injuries that we've got. Unfortunately, Mikel Arteta has not yet done his press conference, but this is the time that we go live. So this is where we're at. There's loads of you here, which we love to see. Before we do get into it, if you could please subscribe. We're on the way. I think we're over halfway now to 26,000 subscribers. If you could like the stream as well, and if you're watching on the replay, please do the hype thing down in the comments. But it is good to see you. Vivi Vlad, Emilio, hyper protagonist, Alki Taylor. Is it Alki or Orki? Let me know. Pekka's here as well. AFC TID, Taylor, good to see you. Logical Nonsense, Jack's Hacks. Welcome, one and all. Love watching live. It's always good to catch you live. It's always good. Baxter, good to see you. Good to see you. Look, we'll start things off. We'll talk as well about the games at the weekend. Annoying, to be honest. After we'd beaten Burnley, I had a good feeling that one of Bournemouth and Villa would do us a favour, and both of them did the complete opposite. Like, both of them absolutely played into the hands of Liverpool and Man City. It was actually two very disappointing hate watches. So that was quite frustrating. Oh, also, whilst I've got you here, we should be live on Big Up for the watch along tomorrow. We should be. If I can't fix the problem on there, we'll go live on YouTube for the watch-along. So there will be a watch-along either way. It should be on Big Up. As always, you can join the Discord down in the description as well and find out that way. But I'll let you know. But yeah, I was disappointed with Villa and Bournemouth, to be honest. But, you know, we're still 6 points clear of City and 7 ahead of Liverpool. So could be worse, you know. Could be worse. What was Unai thinking? Slot literally going on and on about how they've struggled with long balls. It's idiotic. Literally, like, Arne Slot has repeatedly said, we don't like it when teams go long. We preferred it against Frankfurt when we could press them. So what do Villa try and do? Try and play out from the back the whole game. Idiots. I bet Villa and Bournemouth won't play like that against us. Yeah, exactly. They definitely won't. That was annoying. Rice is disciplined enough not to get a yellow card. Yeah, he should be. I feel like Unai was trying to outsmart them, but outsmarted himself again. Yeah, it's just classic Emery. Will you also do a Real Madrid-Liverpool watch-along? No, probably not, because during that game, I'll be making content about the Arsenal game whilst having that on in the background. Bournemouth game plan was worst. Yeah, but at least with the Bournemouth game plan, it was like they just played to their own strengths. But like, it was arrogant. It was arrogant, I think, of Iraola to think that they could just play the way that they've played against everyone and that they wouldn't suffer the consequences of Erling Haaland. But at least, like, that's just the way they're... With Villa don't really have a way of playing. Unai Emery doesn't have, like, a great way of playing that you're like, oh, that's Unai Emery. He always reacts to the opposition. He just reacted badly to Liverpool. Martinez gifted the Salah goal. Martinez is a donkey, honestly. Literally the most overhyped goalkeeper possibly in the history of football. And that's genuinely not even an overstatement. Excuse me. The fact that he is a twice winner of the whatever the award. Is it the Lev Yashin Award? The best goalkeeper in the world? Twice? It's unbelievable. Do we have any news on Madueke? I loved him in the first few games. Nothing specific on Madueke, no. We are expecting all of them back in and around. I don't think any of them are going to be back for Saturday against Sunderland. So we're basically expecting them to be back after the international break. I'm pretty sure. Love from Cyprus. Keep up the great work. Definitely my favourite football YouTube chat. Oh, you'll love to see it. Love to Cyprus. What a place. Either way, this weekend, Liverpool or City get even further away from us or both if we beat Sunderland. Let's not take it for granted that we beat Sunderland. But yeah, it'd be interesting. What do people want from that game? Do we just want a draw? I think we just want a draw, to be honest. If we win and they draw, we're 8 points ahead of City and 9 ahead of Liverpool. That's a tasty gap. That is a tasty gap. I wonder if BBC will do a league table where City would be where City would be without Haaland's goals. Yeah, probably not. I think that is reserved for Arsenal. I think that sort of thing is reserved for Arsenal. Draw would be the best. Yeah, I think so. What I wanted was for one of them to drop points this weekend and then that team to win against the other one. That would have been the most ideal. But a draw, I think we would take. We low-key have an injury crisis if Gyokeres out for weeks. Yeah, we do. Look, we have no idea how or what the situation with Gyokeres is. I'm actually quietly optimistic about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're right. Like, we have an injury crisis anyway. You know, having Ødegaard, Martinelli, Madueke, Jesus, and Havertz out, like to any other club, that would be a massive injury crisis. It's only because we've got depth that it isn't a crisis. But on that, so no sign of Gyokeres at training today. So the team trained at London Colney before then flying out to Prague this afternoon. No Havertz, no Jesus, no Madueke, no Martinelli, no Martin Ødegaard. There was, however, Martin Zubimendi. So it actually doesn't matter for tomorrow's game because Martin Zubimendi is suspended for it. But obviously we heard after the game Arteta saying that Zubimendi had asked to come off. And so there was a little bit of a worry that he might have an injury. It would seem not because he was in training. And I do think this is where the kind of the understandable PTSD from last year of injuries means that we panic a lot. This season, we are ultra cautious with players and we are taking players off, you know, if they feel anything. And the players have been told, if you feel anything, just come off. So with Zubimendi, it literally could have just been cramp. And I'm hoping, and this is where I'm hoping, that it's going to be the same with Victor Gyokeres. Maybe there's like the smallest little tweak and they don't even risk him against Slavia Prague and he's available for Sunderland. That's what I'm hoping. Nid, thank you very, very much for being a member for 15 months. Incredible support from Nid. Says, just get through these two games somehow and then when Kai, Noni, Ødegaard, Nelly and possibly Gyoke back, we can go on a good run. Yeah, look, I'm very hopeful that the Gyokeres thing is not like something that's going to cause him to be out for weeks. Because if it is muscular, which is what Arteta hinted at, like, he walked off the pitch at half-time. He was fine up until half-time. He got hit in the face. He was complaining to the referee that he'd been hit in the face. If he'd had any sort of significant muscular injury, you'd imagine he would have gone down. So I'm really not expecting it to be significant. And to be honest, I am hoping he's going to be available at the weekend, even if he's not available tomorrow. So, yeah, we've got to focus on tomorrow. And without him, and obviously without Havertz and Martinelli and Jesus, who are basically all of the alternatives that would play through the middle, it is a bit sticky. But we can get through it. Off topic, Serie A all-time 11 is a joke. Yeah, the first and second all-time 11. If you've seen Luca on Zach Jalab's video, he went through it. It's crazy. But Nid, again, thank you for the 15 months. Also, says halfway to 26k already. Shorts are helping with the growth drastically. Yeah, the shorts have been good. The shorts have been good. What did I miss? All you have missed is that Arsenal trained today at London Colney before flying out to Prague. And in that training session, there was no sign of Victor Gyokeres. No Kai Havertz, no Jesus, no Madueke, no Martinelli, no Martin Ødegaard. And also actually no Kepa. No Kepa there. So not sure what's happening with Kepa. Obviously, well, I don't think Kepa would have started tomorrow night anyway, but hopefully nothing significant for him either. Emilio, thank you very, very much for the 5 months. What would be your 11 for tomorrow? We'll go through them in a little bit, Emilio. We will go through that. Don't you worry. Also worth noting, Andre Harriman-Anus was in training with the first team today and not the under-19s. The under-19s, of course, have their own game. But both Max Dowman and Andre Harriman-Anus were training with the first team. So I would expect them to be in the squad for the first team. Sign Ox on a free, why not? Yeah, if you've not seen that, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is currently training at Arsenal. He's training with the under-21s. as he's basically a free agent and is just trying to stay fit and stuff, basically. And I will say Arsenal have a habit of doing this for former players, and I actually think it's a good thing. The way that Oxlade-Chamberlain left and he did celebrate against Arsenal, I never really had any bad blood with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But the reality is, like, he lives in London. His family live in London. Sure, he could have gone and trained with Liverpool, but it would have made no sense. But yeah, that's where that is. Did you see one London player in his 20s got robbed at gunpoint? Yeah, very, very weird situation. I'm intrigued to get to the bottom of this whole situation, because basically 2 months ago, there was a very similar sort of incident involving Victor Gyokeres to do with his transfer to Arsenal. And it was to do with not his actual agent, who's the Turkish guy, I can't remember his name, but another agent from within that kind of agency. And there was this shooting, and there was like an attempted blackmail thing. And it was all a bit murky and a bit weird and a bit confusing. And then this other thing has come out that a couple of weeks ago, a London-based Premier League footballer who's in their 20s, who's rated at £60 million or around £60 million, him and his pal were confronted again at gunpoint by an agent, and there was some sort of potential blackmail. So, I mean, it's weird. I don't think those two things are linked, other than the fact that they are weirdly similar stories, and we don't know who the player is. And yeah, it's really just very bizarre, to be honest with you. None of us were really that bothered when Ox left. He just happened to do well at Liverpool because of Klopp. None of us thought he'd be that good. Yeah, exactly. Like, for me, when Ox left to Liverpool, it was no different really to like a Willock going to Newcastle in the sense that, you know, it was what it was. It wasn't like a major thing at the time, so I don't really have any bad blood. Didn't say it was in England. Didn't it say it was an England international? No, people got confused with that. It said it was a Premier League star rated at 60 million and in their 20s. And then it said the agent. So it was the agent that had the gun. And it said the agent also has an established England international on their books. It didn't say that the Premier League star involved was that England international. So it wasn't necessarily an English player. Gabriel Ballon d'Or contender. Very difficult this far out, but I mean, we were speaking about this today on Mo's stream. I do think if you're talking about like the best Premier League player so far this season, you know, Gabriel is leading a defense that is currently tracking to break the all-time defensive record in the Premier League. I still don't know if we'll actually do that. I'm not convinced we will, but we're on track for that. So from a defensive standpoint, it's pretty much as good as you can possibly get. And he's also popping up with more goal contributions than pretty much any centre-back I can ever think of. So, yeah, in terms of doing his job almost as perfectly as you possibly can, yeah, he has to be up there. He has to be up there. Ox could offer some great advice and experience to our under-21s as well. Yeah. No, it can't do any harm having someone like that around them. Have you talked about the Palace game? I just came in. No, I've not talked about that yet. We will talk about that, though. Slavia are unbeaten in the Czech league and did okay against Bodo and Atalanta. Yeah, but if you dig into those a little bit deeper, I'm not convinced by them, to be honest with you. Let's quickly talk about the Palace thing before we get into tomorrow's game and what I would do. So, if you haven't seen, Arsenal's game against Crystal Palace was originally scheduled to be on the 16th of December, Tuesday, the 16th of December. And that was really bad for Crystal Palace because they were due to be playing on the Sunday against Man City, on the Tuesday against Arsenal, and then on the Thursday in the Europa Conference League. 3 games in the space of 5 days, absolute joke. And I said at the time, I thought that was a joke. What I didn't think the solution would be to rearrange that game against Arsenal from the 16th to the 23rd. So it's now the following Tuesday, 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 23rd, which annoyingly for me means I'm not going to be able to even go to the game because by that point I'll have already had to head back to where my family are from for Christmas. So screwed me in that sense. But also, it's screwing Arsenal because Arsenal have a game on the 21st. In fact, actually, let me bring this up so you can see what I'm saying. So now, the way it's going to go for Arsenal is that we are going to play Everton away on Sunday the 21st of December and then Palace on Tuesday the 23rd. So now we also have to play twice in 48 hours, when previously we wouldn't have had to. Previously, it was going to be Wolves on the Saturday, Palace on the Tuesday, Everton on the Sunday, and then a week off over Christmas before Brighton at home. Now, we have to play this extra game. We've got to play twice in the space of 48 hours, and then we've got to play Brighton and then Villa, and you don't get any respite whatsoever here. So within this mad run, we've now been screwed over to the point where we've got to play twice. Great, we've got a week off between Wolves and Everton, fine. But then we've got an absolutely mental run ahead of a harder set of games. So we've been screwed over. Palace were going to be screwed either way, right? So Palace also have a game on the Sunday away at Leeds. So it's the same for both us and Palace in terms of they're away at Leeds on the Sunday, we're away at Everton on the Sunday, then we play against each other. But that was never our fault. It was never our competition that had a clash. So I just think it's a joke. And the thing is, like this game against Everton could easily now that you know that we've got to play on the Tuesday, you could easily say, well, the Everton game doesn't need to be on the Sunday. Arsenal don't have any midweek game before it. So you could play Arsenal v Everton on the Saturday. But they won't do that because there are already TV scheduled games on the Saturday. I think Spurs against Liverpool is the evening kickoff and maybe Newcastle-Chelsea is the lunchtime kickoff. So they're not going to let us play on the Saturday purely for the TV companies, the TV broadcasters. So you're saying player welfare, playing twice in 48 hours, or keeping the TV broadcasters happy and the TV broadcasters win. So it is a joke. Now, fortunately, like we said, we do have a very big squad and, you know, we will be able to rotate heavily within this game. But I still just think that is a joke. We have been penalised through no fault of our own whatsoever. And I do think, the Friday would also be an option, but they're not doing it. No, the Friday wouldn't. No, yeah, the Friday would be an option, but they're not doing it on the Friday anyway. I honestly think we're at the point where the Carabao Cup, I think the Carabao Cup should not include teams that are in Europe anymore because this is becoming a consistent problem. And it's just, it's farcical. It's farcical. So hopefully we get through that whole period with no injuries. To be honest, I think Arsenal and Palace should just turn up for that game and for the first 75 minutes, just sit on the floor and then play the final 15 minutes as a little bit of a protest. I'd play our literal B team against Palace. This fixture fuck up shows how little integrity the competition has. Yeah, exactly. Everton away before that is going to be an intense game as it is. He'll probably have to rotate fully. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's just frustrating. Really frustrating that they've done it that way. And Arteta also said last week that we gave them multiple other dates that we thought would work, and they didn't want to do any of those either. Do an Arne Slot and play the under fives? Yeah, basically. Is it too late to change the fixtures? Yes. Yeah. Because the TV broadcasters have already got their slots. They've already got their Christmas schedule. So it's too late. Two-legged semi-final on top of all of this. Yeah, there comes a point where you're like, is it worth it? Is it worth, risking players in the game against Palace to then get to the semi-finals where you're going to play maybe City or Chelsea or Newcastle over two legs? For me, there comes a point where, because there's no integrity in the competition anyway. There is no integrity in this competition. we have to play it 48 hours after another game. So, would you play a weaker squad against Slavia tomorrow and play a strong squad against Sunderland? Because I'm more worried about that game on the weekend. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Let's go back to the Slavia Prague game. So this is the game tomorrow. By the way, 5:45 kickoff UK time, 5:45 UK time. So that is 25 minutes from now, only tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Yeah, look, in terms of our lineup, with the players that we've got missing, I would go David Raya. I would go Ben White. I would go Mosquera. I would go Hincapié. I would go Miles Lewis-Skelly. I would then go Norgard, Rice. Or would I? Yeah, I would. I'd then go Norgard, Rice, Nwaneri, Saka, Eze, Trossard. For me, Mikel Merino was really quite disappointing when he came on against Burnley. I would rather have a front three of Saka, Eze, Trossard and let them rotate a little bit between each other and then use Nwaneri as well against the Slavia Prague team. Slavia Prague are going to sit it. See, people are saying, surely we rest Rice. I think that's too risky. I think it's too risky. I think going Norgard Merino in a game like this is too risky. I 100% trust Declan Rice not to get a yellow card in this game. I 100% trust him not to get a yellow card. I've seen him do it. I've seen him play 2 legs against Real Madrid where he was 1 yellow card away from a suspension and not get a yellow card. I absolutely trust him to know not to get a yellow card in that game. Yeah, everyone's screaming yellow card. I trust it. You're going to have to use Declan Rice in this game. You're going to have to use him in this game regardless because Zubimendi isn't there. And if we haven't got Victor Gyokeres, you're going to end up playing Mikel Merino up front at some point anyway. So Rice is going to, whether it's off the bench or starting, Rice is going to play. So trust me and trust him, he won't get a booking. He won't get a booking. And if he does, then we'll cross that bridge against Bayern. But yeah, for me, that would be the team. I trust Rice, but I don't trust refs in the Champions League. No, I get it, but I think he'll be fine. Dalman game time. I'd love to see Dalman come on. We're running out of opportunities for Dalman to come on as a 15-year-old and be the youngest ever Champions League player. So, do you think we see Ethan Ball? Yeah, I hope so. I think if you go Norgard, Rice, Nwaneri, that's a balanced enough midfield. And then Trossard, Eze, Saka as the front three, where Trossard and Eze probably can interchange between each other. I think that would be solid. If Rice gets suspended, we park an aeroplane against Bayern. Yeah, look, if Rice gets suspended and he doesn't play against Bayern, like, that's not even the absolute end of the world. Because, in fact, actually, this is a better way of me looking at it, right? This is a better way of me looking at it and why I would play Declan Rice. If we win this game, we're up to 12 points from 12, right? At that point, we can afford to lose to Bayern Munich anyway. We don't want to lose to Bayern Munich, but it's far easier for us to go strong in this game with Declan Rice, beat Slavia Prague, and then if you lose to Bayern, it's like, okay, annoying, but not the end of the world, rather than don't use Declan Rice in this game, draw against Slavia Prague, and then draw against Bayern, and then you've dropped 4 points. Whereas if you beat Slavia Prague and lose to Bayern, you've dropped 3. I think for me, that is the better solution. And like I said, I trust Rice not to get a booking anyway. So yeah, beating Slavia Prague puts us in a really good position because then all we need to do is even if you ignore the Bayern game and the Inter game, all you got to do is beat Club Brugge and beat Kairat Almaty, and you're already up to 18 points at that point, which last season 18 points would have got you 5th, right? So then even if you draw to either Bayern or Inter, you're talking 19 points, you're talking top 4. In terms of getting into the top 8, you only needed 16. That was a little bit close, but yeah, beat Slavia Prague, beat Club Brugge, take the pressure off the Inter and Bayern games, that would be my optimal. I trust the team that beat Brighton to win tomorrow. Maybe. It's a big game for Slavia Prague. That's the only problem. It's a big game for them. They are currently 28th, right? And obviously they're going to be aiming at getting into the top 24. They would take a point from this game. They will sit back heavily and defend. I don't think they are a great team. Someone mentioned the results that they had so far this season. I get that in their own league, they're doing well, right? They're on 14. They're on 30 points from 14 games. So they've done what? What have they done? 1-10 of them and 1-8. That's not even that good, actually. What have they done? 1-8 of them and drawn 6 of them. So they're top of the league, but they've won 8 and drawn 6, which isn't even that amazing. They're just good at not losing. But then in the Champions League, they drew against Atalanta, but if you look at the stats, Atalanta absolutely peppered them. 5 big chances missed. So Atalanta probably should have beaten them anyway. They also lost 3-0 away at Inter, where again, they got absolutely battered. 9 big chances conceded, 4 XG. So they got battered by Inter. And then even against Bodo Glimt, they drew 2-2 at home to Bodo Glimt. And again, they conceded 2.52 XG. So they're an open team in many ways, which is why I would like us to go with Nwaneri and Eze and Trossard and Saka. But yeah, we should beat them. There's no doubting we should beat them. I don't think they're good enough to. I mean, look at their predicted lineup. Their predicted lineup: Markovic, Vilcek, Zima, Chalupek, Moses, Zafaris, Dawley, Dudera, Provod, Chori, and Q. Have you heard of a single one of those players? Be completely honest with me. Have you heard of a single one of those players? Because I haven't. Exactly. Give Rice a rest. Yeah, but the problem is that if you give Rice a rest, you have to start Marino in midfield, which means you have no option to play Marino up top at any point in the game. Nid's heard of 4 of them. Chori I've heard of from FIFA because he's 6'6". Oh, wow. There you go. No, that's not Victor Moses. It's David Moses, not Victor Moses. I don't think Victor Moses still plays, in fairness. Eze's played so much recently. Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. In terms of our squad depth, it has been tested. Our squad depth has been tested. It is being tested because we are missing. I mean, if we're missing Gyokeres for this game, you are talking missing Gyokeres, Havertz, Jesus. All 3 of your sort of actual centre-forward options. You're also missing Martinelli, who's your backup left winger. You're missing Madueke, who's your backup right winger. And you're missing Erdegaard, who's your starting 10. That is a legitimate crisis for any other club. And we're dealing with it right now. But in the same way you say Eze's played a lot of minutes, Leandro Trossard is playing a lot of minutes. All of these players are going to have to play again on Saturday, away at Sunderland, which is difficult. So yeah, it is testing us a little bit, which is not ideal. We need these players back. Harry Manus, time to step up. Yeah, look, maybe he gets some minutes, in fairness. Maybe he does get some minutes. Eze started 5 games in 14 days. That's mental. He should get a rest tomorrow. Who are you resting him for? This is the pro. Who are you going to rest him for? Unless you want Nwaneri to do a full 90 minutes and Trossard to do a full 90 minutes and Marino to do a full 90 minutes, it's difficult. Gyokeres getting injured is ironic considering he's been injury-free. It was one of his plus points too. Yeah, well, I think it's probably like a small muscular thing. By the way, this is probably the first time in his career where he's had to do as much running as he's currently doing. He's also only, in the last 2 seasons, become a player that has to play twice a week. So, It's a thing for him to adapt to. In Erdegaard we trust, our guiding star. I've read that before. Yeah, I can't be bothered to read it again. But it's a lovely little poem. This is why Eze moved to Arsenal to play in the Champions League. He won't want to rest. I agree. Gyokeres has been putting in unbelievable work. And I said it in the match review. I thought the second half, Gyokeres not playing the second half against Burnley showed you exactly what it is that Gyokeres does. Because we looked like so... we just weren't offering anything in the second half with Marino there. I think the best thing that's happened is Marino going off showed us what we look like without him. Rory, our FA Cup draw is soon. When's the third round FA Cup draw? It's not for a while, is it? When's the second round of the FA Cup? Not sure. Gyokeres looked so much better against Burnley because he had a rest in midweek. Well, yeah, exactly. We were lethargic in the second half. Yeah, we were a bit, but that was the problem. That was what was annoying me about Mikel Merino, because I thought Mikel Merino looked really lethargic compared to Gyokeres. And it's like, Mikel Merino doesn't play that much. I get that he had played in midweek, but... Wait, it's in 2 hours? I thought that was the second round draw. Wait, is the FA Cup third round draw in 2 hours? Is it? Oh, it is. Oh, no, wait, it's not. Is it? Second round draw. Yeah, I knew it was the second round draw. I'm not going mental. Yeah. I don't know when the third round draw is. Yeah, I don't know. Update on Gyokeres' injury. We don't know. There will hopefully be an update from Mikel Arteta tonight. I'm assuming he's not done his press conference yet. I'll make a short video that will go on YouTube Shorts and TikTok and stuff once Mikel Arteta's done his press conference. But I don't know what time his press conference is. So yeah. Hopefully, the thing is, he won't give much of an update on Gyokeres anyway. He won't let us know if Gyokeres is going to be back before the international break or not, because he won't want Sunderland to know. It makes a huge difference to Sunderland whether or not Gyokeres is available as well. 8th of December, it says. Well, it'll be whenever the FA Cup second round is, the draw will be for the third round will be then, basically. It's at 6. Fair. Rory, question. Would you rather Haaland or Ronaldo for our striker? Had this convo in the Discord just now. Prime Ronaldo or current Ronaldo? Love the YouTube Shorts, by the way, for those of us who don't have TikTok. Oh, you'll have to see it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just always post, because all of these I'm just posting my TikToks as YouTube Shorts. What, Haaland right now or Ronaldo right now? Haaland. J-Bob, thank you very, very much for the $2. CR7 is better than your favorite player. Oh, prime CR7, yeah. Surely between Haaland, surely. Rory, if you ever did voiceover work, I'd recognize it instantly. Keep it up. Oh, you'll have to see it. I appreciate it. What did you think of the Spurs-Chelsea game? I thought it was crap. What Spurs have done today is outrageous, by the way. If you've not seen this, Spurs were terrible, right? Against Chelsea, at home to Chelsea, a team they have a terrible record against. It's a London derby, and Spurs were pathetic, right? Pathetic. They've come out today basically blaming the fans. Vicario has come out basically blaming the fans. Thomas Frank has said after 30 minutes the fans, they lost the fans and that hurt them. I'm like, you can't be blaming the fans for a performance like that. And when you say, oh yeah, after 30 minutes we lost the fans. Yeah, because the opening 30 minutes you were abysmal. It's crazy. You were great at Inside Gooners, going on again. Yeah, hopefully. The thing is with Inside Gooners is there's a lot of people there's a lot of people in the space, right? James went on there the other day. I thought he was great. Obviously, you've got Perry who goes on there a lot. Tom Canton, I think, does it a lot. Harry, there's so many good people. But yeah, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll do it again. Join the Discord. It's not all rage back. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Link is down below. Is it crazy to say Haaland is top 5 to 7 strikers of all time already? Yeah, if you're talking of all time, I think you can't say it yet. I don't think you can say it yet. I think there will always be as well conversations about like ability in terms of, for me, Luis Suarez as an example, as an overall striker, far better player. Aguero, far better. Before you even get into the names that held the record. So it's a difficult one, but the way he's playing at the moment is pretty scary. Have you seen that Arsenal have lost 6 more games at the Emirates than Spurs at their new ground? Yeah, in the Premier League, it's crazy. It's a crazy stat. The way it's going, genuinely, they will overtake us within the next year as well, which is nuts. Thomas, thank you very, very much for the $1.99. Can you give me a bet for Everton versus Sunderland? I can. This is not gambling advice, and this is not encouraging gambling. However, the lineups aren't out yet. I mean, for me, Sunderland at home, defensively, they've been excellent. Tough. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll tell you what I'd be going with, right? I'll tell you what I'd be going with. I would be going with a Granit Xhaka booking. Written in the stars. Granit Xhaka booking. Couple of tricky customers in Grealish and Dewsbury Hall. And Ndiaye. Granit Xhaka booking. I would go under. Would I go? Yeah, under. Nah, I wouldn't, because I've got. I would go Sunderland to win. It's difficult, It's actually a difficult one to go for. I like picking goal scorers, but I just don't. I don't know if I can pick a goal scorer from Sunderland, really. Yeah, maybe go under 3 goals. Xhaka to get booked. I don't know. It's not a great game. Ballard had a goal. Thomas, if you lose money, come to the Discord and flame Rory. Do you know what? I've got to be honest with you. There's nothing from this game other than a Granit Xhaka booking that is speaking to me. There's nothing speaking to me. A set piece goal. I don't actually know if you can do that. Isidore's been banging at home if you want a goal scorer. Yeah, I'd maybe go Isidore goal or assist. Isidore goal or assist. Xhaka booking, Sunderland win. I wonder if the Gooners will sing Granit's song. Probably not. I mean, the only time we sang Eddie's song against Crystal Palace was when he gave the ball out for a corner for us. He got a clap. He got a clap when he did a warm-up. He got a clap when he came on. I don't know. I wouldn't sing Granit Xhaka's song. To be honest, it annoys me a little bit when that happens. You can applaud a player that's coming back, actively chanting their name when you're playing against them, I think sends the wrong message, personally. Anyway, look, it is time for the quiz question. It's time for the quiz question. Get your fingers on your keyboards. First person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. And so the question is this. Arsenal last met Slavia Prague in the Champions League in 2007. We drew 0-0 in the away leg, but what was the score in the home tie? Arsenal last met Slavia Prague in the Champions League in 2007. We drew 0-0 in the away leg, but what was the score in the home tie? Bum 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 ba-da-dum, bum 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 ba-da-dum, bum bow, 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 ba-da-dum, bow. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boom. And the winner is lots of score lines in here, but the winner is it's Leeds Gunner. It is Leeds Gunner. It was 7-0. 7-0 to Arsenal. I think Fabregas scored a couple of goals. But it was 7-0. It was a good one because I knew nobody could guess it. No one would guess 7-0 unless they actually knew it was 7-0. So Leeds Gunner was first. Wade was third. Was second. Third was GG Guna. Fourth was Man Like G-Day. And fifth was Yawa. There you go. There you go. Congratulations to Leeds Gunner. Congratulations to Leeds Gunner. Is Ross Lawman even in here? Is Ross Lawman even in here to do the VAR check? I don't even know. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. There you go. That's Leeds Gunner's second ever win of the quiz. Absolutely sensational. Anyway, look, this is going to be the end of the stream. As I said, I will be live for the watch along tomorrow. It will hopefully be, and the plan is for it to be on Big Up. Big Up is linked down below. That is where we typically do all of the watch alongs. If I can't get it working, we'll go live on YouTube. Anyway, I'll let you know both on Discord and on Twitter what the plan is. We'll be live from 5:30 UK time for that one. But other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Look out, there will be probably a short video about Mikel Arteta's press conference. And other than that, I will catch you all tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.